Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Leah. I'm a personal trainer and online coach, and I'm happy to have you. Feel free to stay a while, subscribe to my channel, find me on other social media platforms. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about a super hot topic when it comes to the supplement world, and that supplement is creatine. My goal with this video is to make it super simple and super easy to understand. I want to explain creatine as if I'm telling a kindergartner what it is, because honestly, we could get into the nitty-gritty and like exactly how it all works and all that. However, there are many videos out there that I will actually link in the description box that do exactly that, and I feel like I can't necessarily add more to that. And it's by people who have higher education than me as well, and so I think it's important to go to their videos for the super in-depth nitty-gritty, and this video today will just be keeping it super simple, easy to understand, easy to digest, and all that good stuff. So as a reminder, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful, find me on other social media platforms, and let's get right into the video. Okay, let's start off super simple. Creatine, what is it? What is creatine? So, creatine is actually a naturally occurring molecule substance that is found in our bodies. It's found in our skeletal muscle. It's also found in meat. So, you eat creatine, it's already in your body, it's a naturally occurring thing. It's not some like artificially constructed substance. So, that brings me to the next question. So, if it's naturally occurring, why should we supplement with it? If we can get it from food, why do we need a supplement? So creatine is actually very helpful for people who do things like resistance training, sprinting, those short burst, super high energy types of activities. It's also good for endurance athletes, but very specifically, it's really great for people who are doing those fast, powerful movements like strength training. Now, the reason why we would want to supplement with creatine is because of what it helps our bodies do, essentially. So yes, it is naturally occurring in our body and we can get it from food. However, the goal with supplementing with creatine is to completely saturate our creatine stores. Let's get a little bit more specific about what creatine helps us do. So essentially, through all of the processes, creatine helps us do more work. It gives us more energy, which in turn helps us do more work. For example, let's take a shoulder press, like a dumbbell shoulder press. In person A, this person does not have fully saturated creatine stores, okay? So person A is repping out, and by like rep 8, they're getting tired and they're completely depleted of energy and they cannot do any more reps after rep 8. Now, let's take person A and saturate their creatine stores and give them the same weight that they would do overhead press with. And now, since they have more creatine within their muscles, it's going to help produce more ATP, which again, go to those videos if you need to know what ATP is. Essentially, ATP is a form of energy that our cells use, okay? So back to the example, person A is repping out shoulder press. Now they get to rep 8 and they're still feeling pretty good. They get to 9, 10, they end up doing like 12 more reps of those shoulder presses because they had more energy in order to perform more work, right? So if you can perform more work, then essentially the hope is that you will yield more results from your workout. So let's recap that a little bit. Creatine gives our muscles more energy. Since we have more energy, we can do more work. Since we can do more work, we can get more results. A couple other benefits of creatine is that it helps with muscle recovery, and it also helps with brain cognition and memory. Now that we know what creatine is, let's talk about how much you should supplement with. For most people, anywhere from 3 to 5 grams per day is going to be perfect, the sweet spot. You don't need to do any more than that. If you want to start taking creatine, you can do a loading phase. You don't have to. Essentially what the loading phase does, it just helps saturate the muscles more quickly with creatine. If you don't do the loading phase, it will take about like 3 to 4 weeks before your muscles become fully saturated by taking the 3 to 5 grams per day. But if you do the loading phase, you would take about 20 grams per day for about a week, and after that week, your muscles would already be fully saturated. So you could do it, but it's not completely necessary. It doesn't matter what time of day that you take creatine. You can take it in the morning, after your workout, before the workout, at night. It really doesn't matter as long as you consistently take it. So creatine is one of those things that like I said, you have to consistently take it so that it can build up in your muscles. If you miss one day, it's really not the end of the world, but just try to make sure it's one of those things, if you're deciding to supplement with creatine, that you're taking it consistently. Now, I should have said this part first, but it doesn't matter what kind of creatine you're using. There's a few different forms of creatine out there, and now the one that has the most research behind it and is the safest as far as we know is creatine monohydrate. There's creatine ethyl ester, there's creatine HCl, there's a few different forms out there, and I'm not going to say that they don't work, but they just don't have as much research backing them. And so if it were me, I'm going to go with the one that has the most research, the most proof that it does exactly what I want it to do, and that's the one that I'm going to use. So as far as brands or whatever, it doesn't matter what brand, as long as it's creatine monohydrate, you'll be good to go. I will say though, I always recommend to use supplements that are third-party tested, because the supplement industry can be kind of sketchy in the fact that sometimes companies will say that you're getting this when really you're not getting that. And so by going with a third-party tested supplement company, they are checked and ensured that what they say on the packaging, that's exactly what you're getting. Now let's talk about side effects, because there are some side effects that you should definitely be aware of, especially if you're going to start supplementing with creatine. The first one would be GI distress, right? So for some people, creatine can kind of mess with their stomach. And so if that's you, then you would have to make that call if you want to continue using creatine to get the benefits of it, or if it's bothering you too much, then it might not be worth it for you, and that's okay. One thing that you could do is to make sure that you get a micronized creatine. This just means that the particles are just even smaller, and so it could help your body absorb it easier and maybe be a little less stressful on your stomach. Another thing you could do would be to break up your dosing. So let's say you're taking 5 grams per day. Maybe you take 2.5 grams in the morning and then 2.5 grams at night, just to kind of break it up. The next question, does creatine make you gain weight? Now, let me be very specific. Gain weight, not fat, right? So let's be very specific with that. What creatine does do is it does attract water, and it can increase the water within your muscles. So that is called intracellular water. Now, what this can do is actually make your muscles look bigger. So people who use creatine have said that they actually feel like their muscles look bigger, and that could be attributed to, one, their muscles actually getting bigger, right? Increasing the size of the muscle fibers, or 2, there's just more water within the muscle. Now, could this show on the scale that your weight is increasing? Possibly. It just depends on the person. Not every single person experiences this side effect of creatine. And so it's just very important to know that if you do start taking it and you notice that there is an increase on the scale, it could just be from water, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's an increase in fat. The next common concern with creatine is, does it cause kidney issues? So within all of the research that has been done on creatine monohydrate, it does not show that there is any correlation between supplementing with creatine and kidney problems. However, if you have any sort of kidney disease or kidney issues, or any medical condition for that matter, you should consult with your doctor and ask if they would, recommend you supplementing with it, or if you should not. The next thing you might be wondering about creatine, does it cause hair loss? So this one is definitely, I want to say, people heard a piece of a research study and then ran with it and kind of like dramatized what it was actually saying. So there has been one singular study done that showed that creatine increased something called DHT. Again, I don't want to get super deep into this stuff because the other videos that I linked in the description box go into it more in depth. However, DHT is something that is linked to hair loss. However, it's more for those who are people who are genetically predisposed to hair loss, who may need to just practice some extra caution with supplementing with creatine. If you're not genetically predisposed to that, you're most likely okay. How about creatine pills? When it comes to creatine pills, there's really nothing wrong with it. The only thing I will say is that you don't really get the biggest bang for your buck, and you usually have to take a lot of pills in order to get the same amount you would from like a little scoop of creatine. So if you're someone who just rather take pills, then by all means go for it, but you're probably going to pay a premium for that convenience. But if it's worth it for you, go ahead. Again, as long as it's creatine monohydrate and you take it consistently, you take it every day, it really doesn't matter if you take it in pill form or powder form. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm just going to end it there. Like I said, if you want some more in-depth information on creatine, check out the videos I linked in the description box. They are explained super well. They're put together very just like easy to understand, I feel like, for the general public and majority of people. So be sure to check those out. If you found my video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on those notifications as well. I will see you guys in the next video.